Okay, so we have an Echo chainsaw here, and customer says it won't run. So we're gonna go through our diagnostic process. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna spray some starting fluid in it. Now I know a lot of people say you're not supposed to put starting fluid in a chainsaw or a weed eater. Well, true, if you're trying to run it with starting fluid, then I would agree with you. But since we're just going to see if it's going to pop off, it will not hurt it at all. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hold the throttle open, so that way we can get the starting fluid into the carb's throat, into the engine. Spray some in it, and I'm going to take it down here and we're going to try to start it. Don't have anything, so it's got good compression. I can hold it pretty good, so I'm going to check spark, but I'm going to do it a little differently today. It's hard to see sometimes when you're pulling on a chainsaw rope to see if it's sparking or not. So an easier way to do it is turn the flywheel with a drill. Now we're going to take the spark plug out also. To reduce the compression, so it's easier to turn with the drill. Okay, so like I said, we're going to remove the spark plug so we can turn it with the drill a little bit easier. And at the same time, we'll be able to check the cylinder walls with the endoscope. So we have the endoscope here. You can see that we're, I'll even point it at you. There's the camera right there. So we'll put this down into this spark plug hole and see if we see any scoring. No scoring. We got some wear marks, but that's okay. You might see some wear marks there, but that's not too bad. Like I said, the compression seemed pretty good. That is the spark plug, or the muffler hole there. Okay, so there's the spark plug tester. I have it grounded to the engine block, and you'll see a little shot of spark going across there if it sparks. Nope, no spark. So then that can lead us to the ignition coil. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the top off here. It could also be the on-off switch. So we'll remove the shutoff wire before we get into changing out the ignition switch, or ignition coil. Okay, so here's the shutoff right there. So we're going to remove that. And we're going to check the spark again. to see if it's the switch or the ignition coil. So again, we'll plug in our tester here. We'll ground it. Make sure you can see this. It's still no spark. Okay, so now we're going to change out the ignition coil. This is the ignition coil right here. Now, some of these have a little plastic spacer in the back side of the ignition coil. You want to make sure you don't lose that. I don't know if this particular model has it, but you always want to be cautious of it. It does. There's two spacers. So that's a little different than what I'm used to. Make sure the new one and the old one look similar. They do, except for the little spot where the shelf wire goes on. That spacer is going to be tough to get everything to line up. And of course I forgot my wire I got to put back. Lost the bottom one. So I'm going to tighten this all the way down. I'm going to push it that direction away from the flywheel. You'll see why in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to use a 10/1000 feeler gauge. You could use a business card. And we'll put it in between the flywheel and the magnet. So that's the magnet right there. And then I'm going to loosen the ignition coil. And that magnet, not so much on chainsaws and weed eaters, but definitely on lawnmowers, will help draw. Well, it did on this one. It draws that in to the magnet. Then we'll put our on off. Now we'll test it. Let's see if it's got spark. It has spark. Then a new spark plug. So we're going to gap the spark plug from 25 to 30. That's good. Okay, see if it starts. Okay, so looks like we've got this resolved. The ignition coil was bad. So if you click this up next box, it'll take you to a video where I was working on something. So I hope this video helps you work on your equipment under the shade tree. Thanks for watching.